Thank you very much, and welcome to today's masterclass session where we'll be learning on the success factors that make one become a very good location-based gig worker. Yeah. So our speaker for today is already in, but before I give him that chance, let me just introduce a bit about Digital Opportunity Trust Kenya. Yeah. So Digital Opportunity Trust Kenya is an organization that empowers young people, mostly women, with digital and entrepreneurship skills. And since we started in 2005, we've impacted directly and or indirectly about 177 young people. And our programs are the following. We've got a digital jobs level 1, where we impact young people with basic digital skills. We've got digital jobs level 2, where we impact young people with the advanced digital skills. We've got digital business plus ICT, yeah, where we just ensure that the businesses of young people, mostly women, are ICT enabled. Then we've got a community leadership program that runs for about 1 year, where we're just ensuring that young people become responsible community leaders. And lastly, we've got a social innovation program, which we impact young people with the social entrepreneurship skills. Yeah. So our program mostly target to women. 70% of our programs are women aged 18 to 35. And we are sponsored by the Canadian Development Agency, Global Affairs Canada. And we're working with different partners across the country in Nairobi, Mombasa, Western, Nyanza, and Rift Valley regions. So if you check out those, some of our partners include the YMCA, the Kenya National Library, Ujima Foundation, Oasis. Those are some of the partners that we're working with across the country. And if you want to join our programs, you can just check out our social media pages at .kenya on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We always post any call that we have for application for young people to just join in our programs. Yeah. So if you're a young person, mostly a woman aged 18 to 34, you are mostly eligible to join our programs at any level that you want. If you go to basic skills, you can join our advanced skills training. If you are interested in social entrepreneurship, you also have that. Yeah. So recently, .Kenya for the past 6 months, .Kenya in conjunction with GIZ has been running women in gig work mentorship programs, where we are supporting mostly women who are in gig work with both technical and soft skills, just to ensure that they also thrive in that space. And for the past 5 weeks, we've been running masterclasses, just trying to equip women gig workers with different skills. And today is the second last session, whereby we're just going to look at how does someone thrive as a location-based gig worker. And our speaker for today is known as Sylvia Mwitumi. Yeah, just a brief about Sylvia. So Sylvia is a co-founder of an gig work application known as Fundis that connects users to skilled artisans. So if you need a plumber, if you need a carpenter, works like that, then you go to Fundis. Yes, she's also the co-founder of a platform known as Chuuza that connects users to professional local service providers. So if you need maybe a domestic worker somewhere, then Chuuza is one of the platforms that you will go for. Yeah. So Sylvia is also holders of Bachelor's of Arts in Security Management and Criminology. And she has various awards. One of them is the 2019 Global Student Entrepreneurship winner, the 2020 Challenge for 1000 Laureate winner, and 2-time semi-finalist at the Africa Arena. Yeah. So when it comes to location-based gig work, Sylvia has immense experience in that. And today she's just going to talk to us to make us understand what is gig work and what are some of the things that somebody needs to do just to thrive in that space. Yeah. So without taking much time, I'll invite our speaker, Sylvia. Sylvia, if you can hear me.
Hi.
Yes, hi. Yeah, so Sylvia, probably maybe anything about you that I didn't say, you can add.
So hi everyone, that was a very intense introduction. I don't think there's anything you mentioned other than maybe defining the two companies again briefly. So
Yes,
Fundis,
yes.
I'm a co-founder in Fundis. So Fundis is an online platform that connects homes and organizations to competent, vetted, and certified local service providers such as carpenters, electricians. So that is in the construction space. And then we have the sister company, that is Chuuza, that Langi mentioned, which also connects households and organizations to competent, again, vetted, trained, certified local service providers. But this one is in the domestic and personal grooming space. So I'm talking about if you need nannies, cleaners, chefs, salon and spa at the comfort of your home, work, or anywhere in between. So maybe that was the distinction I wanted to put across. But thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So Sylvia, to begin with, when we say somebody is a location-based gig worker, what kind of a person are we?
It's about gig worker.
For somebody who doesn't know, who is a location-based gig worker?
I'm just hearing someone. I'm waiting for them to.
Okay, I've muted them. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So a location-based gig worker is an individual who provides on-demand or completes what we call short-term tasks through various digital platforms or apps, with the scope of their work directly being influenced by their physical location. So these workers typically leverage their proximity to clients or specific geographical areas to offer their services. So in short, what we were talking about, if you, an example is, the best example I can give is Uber. If you're located in Langata, those are the services you're going to get, and it's through an app. So that is what we mean by location-based gig work. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And so, for instance, if I'm Eric and I want to get into that space, how do I start? How do we become one?
Okay. Before we get to that, maybe I can explain further. So location-based gig workers can be found across various industries. So this, we're talking about transportation, or what we call the ride-hailing apps. So we're talking about your Kawaida, Ubers, InDriver, all that. And then we're talking about personal shopping. When you talk about, let's say you've opened an online store, you're selling shoes, you're selling whatever, and it's on an app. So that is personal shopping. Or the other home services where Chuuza and Fundis, they rely on their home services. So when you want cleaning, repairs, pet care, you want salon services, that is what we are calling the home services. As I said again, this one is purely based on their characteristic, based on the work being relied or being at a particular location to fulfill a customer's request. And also these independent or these workers are mostly independent contractors or freelancers, as I said, using online platforms. So nobody's going to employ you or put you on a monthly salary. You are your own boss. You just find the platform that you need, or the one that you have interest on, or you want to offer certain services. You join the platform and you start offering the services. I think with that, your question, Langi, was how to get into location-based gig work?
Yes.
So there are many things that would make you get into location-based gig work or the gig work. And the first one is majorly, and I like to say it as the first one, is determine your skills and interests. Why do I mean this? You need to have a certain skill, right? So for example,
Seem shy.
Sorry for that.
It's okay. So for example, if you have a certain skill. So let's pick the typical example. If it's Uber, you need to be a driver, right? And you need to have the driving license and all that. Also, you need to have the interest. The interest or the passion has to go hand in hand with the skill. So if you're a good cook, there are obviously platforms like Chuuza that offer the chef services, or you know how to take care of pets, all that. So you need to have the skills and the interest. Most of this do not necessarily require you to have gone to school, because most people, especially for what I've come to find out in our platforms, they've not gone to school, but through apprenticeship, and that is learning from someone else. And learning on the job sometimes beats any other school that you can go to. So sometimes we take those people, but it depends. So if it's like cleaning jobs, there are jobs that typically you need a skill, but there are jobs you really need to have, let's say, a degree or some sort. Like right now you're seeing the health sector coming in form of apps. They are mobile doctors. So of course, certain things like that, if you're going to be a mobile doctor, you must have a degree or a doctorate in, you're a doctor, so such things. Do your research, especially on the gig platforms. All of us know that there are some apps out there that are there to con other people. Maybe you're going to sell a product or give out a service, and then you're not going to be paid back. So you need to research, make sure that the gig platforms are, what do you call them? They're first of all, they're famous or they're popular, and their ratings. You look at their popularity and how honest they are, stuff like that. Just make sure that they're platforms that won't con you. I think that's the easiest way to put it. And then meet the platform's requirements. As I said, like in Chuuza and Fundis, we really have a vast background check. We even want to know your chief area, every bit of it. So some of them have requirements. So make sure you meet all of them if it is relevant to the type of platform that you've chosen. Maybe the other thing is register and create a profile. I think all of us know how to create one. It's very easy. It's like going into downloading Instagram. You put maybe your profile picture and all that. So most of these gig platforms are the same. They're easy to use. We make sure that the interface, the user interface, is very easy for people to understand. So yeah, things like that. And then I said register, complete the necessary paperwork. Obviously, these are things very direct or related to the platform that you have picked. Remember, all these platforms are very different and they have different requirements. And then familiarize yourself with the platform. These are things that get to know how the app works, and then establish a schedule or availability. Remember, I said you're your own boss. If you want to work in the morning, you want to work in the evening, some of these platforms are 24 hours. If you want to work in the night, you be your own boss. And then things like providing excellent customer care for your ratings to go up so that you get more customers. The more your ratings go up, the more customers you get, the more money you earn. And sometimes for other platforms like in Chuuza and Fundis, the better customer you are, the better service provider you are, the more your range of services, how much you charge might be different from someone else because of the skill set and your customer service and how well you perform your job. Yeah, and things like that. Yes, Langi, back to you.
Yes. So you talked about skills. And you actually mentioned a lot on the technical skills. Like for instance, if I want to be a driver, then I'm assuming I need to really have the technical skills of being a driver. Yeah. But now the other aspect of now the soft skills. Yeah. Could you also probably maybe just touch on that? Or what are some of the soft skills that are actually required for someone to become a location-based gig worker?
Yes. So yes, we talked about the technical skill that you have to have, and I've mentioned a bit about having excellent communication skills, or what we call customer service skills. So you need to be good at that. Some of these platforms require you to already have this, when you're joining the platform. But platforms like the ones we have, like Chuuza and Fundis, we teach you on these soft skills. So you need to know how to communicate with your clients and basic things like hygiene. There's one on how to save, it's in savings, and how to manage your finances. So those are the things that would require or part of what you require for you to join a gig platform, because we call them other social protection mechanisms. So we just don't want you to give you gigs and you cannot even go talk to a customer. So we equip you with all these other skills other than the technical one that you need to do the job, for you to just thrive. Let me say thrive in this in gig work. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So now I'm on this gig work platform. Yeah, I'm actually starting.
Yes.
What from even your experience having run Chuuza and Fundis? Yeah. What are some of the specific things that worker needs to do to ensure that they grow, thrive, and be successful location-based gig workers?
What do you need for you to be successful as a gig worker?
Exactly.
Of course, one of them, yes. Of course, one of them is very easy. You need time management. You need to manage your time very well. Time is very crucial. So if you tell a client you're going to be there by 8 a.m. and you're there by 10 a.m., already that client, and remember, as I said, the client also has the right to, or after every service, they can put a review of how the job went. So if your reviews or your ratings go down because of time management, obviously you're not going to be one of the best gig workers on a platform, and it's going to negatively affect your work. So time management, you need to manage your time very well. And then remember, you're the one who sets time. So if you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to work from 8 to 3, right? That is the time that you've set. But if you've set that time, make sure that within that time frame, whatever you've told your client, deliver on time. And time, even as gig platforms, this is one of our unique value propositions that we sell to clients, that we will be there on time. So the client expects when it's 8, you're there 7:30 or a few minutes to 8 or 8. You know, even if you're on time, sometimes they say you're late because you're on time. You need to be a few minutes before time. These are just some of those customer service things that we're talking about. And then navigation skills, I have come to realize that these are just some of the things that you need to be successful, other than having the technical know-how or the skills. So for example, you have a client and you don't know where they live. So this is why we're talking about navigation skills. You need to know Google Maps in and out. Or if you're using an Uber to get somewhere, you need to know exactly where the client lives. All of us have been customers at a point, and we hate when the driver is telling you, tell me exactly where you are, and you're like, it's there on the, what do you call it? It's there on the platform. Just follow the pin. We all hate that, because we want someone who can navigate very well and get to the customer's place without disturbing them. The other thing that I've mentioned, I think now like 5 times, is communication skills. You need to have excellent communication skills. You need to know how to communicate with the client. It doesn't mean you need to understand English very well. Some of these clients can switch to Kiswahili. In our platform, we even allow you, if the client insists on their mother tongue and you're on the same mother tongue, we allow it, but you have to let the client initiate that first contact. But without that, we let everyone know that we use English. If English is not your first language or your second language, you can use Swahili as a national language. But you really need to communicate your concerns. You need to maintain professionalism at all times during your interactions with the customer. Then obviously I've talked about customer service needs to be excellent, be friendly, be attentive, be responsible, and do your duties and leave that place. Remember, you're on the premises of the the client. So that is not your home. You need to act professionally. You need to act like someone who's invited you to their home. That is not your home, and stuff like that. You need to be a problem solver. What do I mean? You need to think on your feet. Sometimes you have a gig work, and the issue seems a bit. We see it a lot in the apps that we run. So you've gotten to a client. The client told you, let's say you're a plumber, told you whatever you're fixing is just one small issue. When you get there, it's a big issue. Do you start saying, you see, I told you, you said it's just this? No, you need to be a problem solver. Call that person and say, the scope of the work has increased to this, and be very open-minded and be very honest. So we are fixing this and this and this. So be a problem solver. Stop saying, oh, you just told me to do 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You need to think on your feet, be creative, come up with creative solutions. You need to have organizational skills, of course. And what else? You need to be self-motivated and disciplined. Be neat, meet deadlines, as I said, deliver high quality of services. What else is important is financial management. In our platform, some of these platforms, including Chuuza and Fundis, we do help you manage your finances, because we realize some of you earn even up to 200,000 a month from a platform, but you don't have transport to go to a client. So we are like, what happened? You don't know how to manage your finances. But some of our platforms, including ours, we will help you manage your finances. We will help you save, get into this. You can even get loans borrowed against what you get in a month or in a year. Yeah, so those are just some of the things that you need to be successful as a gig worker.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sylvia, for that. And actually, the way you said, you mentioned communication skills 6 times or so. So I think it's very key skill that one needs to actually thrive.
Yeah.
One of the targets for our mentorship program in the one that you're doing in GAZ was just to help gig workers have some perfect work-life balance. And you actually talked about time management. I don't know from your experience, how are you helping your workers in Chuuza and Fundis just have some good work-life balance?
So one of them is, as I said, we help them manage their time resourcefully. Because if you look at it, some of the work that we give them, especially cleaners, I cannot allow you to go wash clothes in 5 houses in a day. Of course, by the end of it, you're going to be very tired. So we help you manage your time well. So that is one of the things that we're going to help you. As I said, you're your own boss, but at times you need someone to tell you how to do things. You cannot do things the whole day. You're going to be tired. Remember, most of this gig works requires you to do a lot of manual work, especially with Chuuza and Fundis. So we help you manage your time and how you're going to do your work. So that's one. Secondly, we do have, we call them a corporate chaplain. So we have one in Fundis and in Chuuza. We actually have one we share. So a corporate chaplain is what we call a counselor or a therapist. So, you kind of need all this time off. All of us are humans. We go through things. So if you need anyone to talk to, we actually have one of them. You can come to our offices. You can plan for the corporate chaplain to come and talk to you. We also organize fun activities like not this week, next week. Chuuza and Fundis are going to be in Mombasa for something we call Skills Assessment Day, that is on the 28th. And then on the 31st, they're going to be in Nakuru. This is just an example. It doesn't happen with all platforms, but some of the platforms offer this. So this is where you come to interact, to have fun, to dance, to learn. We also, what else am I leaving out? So we also help you to build a strong online presence for you to feel that you can be able to nini yourself, to market yourself online. And also we have upskilling and reskilling of your skills. So if you feel like you want to advance your skills or learn a few skills, another skill, you can actually do that on our platform. And we organize events with other partners where you can add or expand your skill set. So those are some of the things from my that I can think about. The last one before I finish is networking, collaborating with other gig workers. So as I said, sometimes we organize these fun events and we do that with other platforms and even other platforms that are our competitors, so they can learn, interact, share ideas, share some work. There's work we're going to give you and you can't do it alone. you need your friends to help you, or and not necessarily your friends. You need colleagues who are in the same space to help you. So we organize such kind of events for you to network and know each other as gig workers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So another thing that gig workers look at before they always join a platform is the pay. Yeah. What will you advise a person who wants to get into a platform as far as the pay is concerned? Is there like a standard amount that somebody needs to look like? I know it's always a sharing. Is there a standard sharing formula that actually is acceptable for somebody to get into a platform?
So when it comes to pay, obviously it's very different depending on the work that you're doing. Even for us, that is something we have been in this gig space for a long time, and we've not quite come up with standard pay for everyone, because work is very different. If I send you to even clean one house is a 3-bedroom, the other one is a 1-bedroom. It becomes very different. But all I can tell you is most of the gig platforms take between 15%, 20%. Chuuza and Fundis takes 20% of all the jobs done. And then other platforms, I think like the Ubers have gone up to 25 to 30. It really depends. That's why I said, do your research well, because sometimes I feel like 30% might be a bit on the higher side. So do your research, whatever works well for you. Most of these platforms, again, as I said, including Chuuza and Fundis, are going to give you the benefit or the right, or they're going to let you come up with your own, how you're going to charge the client. Other than that, we are going to regulate it. So for example, I'm going to tell you to charge a customer. If you overcharge them, because I've been in this space for long, there's someone in the office who's going to say, to regulate it, just because maybe you've overcharged. If you've undercharged, we're also going to tell you you've undercharged this client. We feel like this is the rate at which you're supposed to give the client. So we give you all the freedom to quote, but we regulate them, and it varies per job. But all you need to know is there is a standard fee that is taken by the platform owners. For the platform owners to continue running the business, we're the one bringing the businesses to you. So some of them will charge from 15% all the way up to 30%, but most of the platforms that I've seen charge between 15 and 20%. I'd advise you to go for the 15 to 20%. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And the other thing that we're also trying to look into in our program is the issues of fair work. Like for instance, you're in this platform and probably maybe you are a lot of workers. Yeah. So how do you ensure that there's fair distribution of work so that every other worker at least gets some work and nobody feels left out? Because that is one of the things that I think people need to look out for.
Yes, that is a very good question, Langi. And most of this really depends, as I said, most of this will really depend on you. So if you're someone who's not readily available, remember all this work is online, right? So things like you have to be online, maybe on Wi-Fi, maybe on bundles, and you need to be available. And when I give you work, remember, if I give you work, I've seen this with a lot of, gig workers, where you give them work and they say they are going. Let's say we've agreed for tomorrow 7 a.m. You don't tell me within the night that you cannot even make for that gig work. Then it's in the morning, your phone is off, right? No communication, no nothing. So I'm left with an angry customer, and I have to replace you because the job has to be done. But the customer is angry and all that, and leave it to us. We're going to make sure the client is served. At the end of the day, the client might be very angry with us and all that. But if we cannot trust you to give you a job, I'm not going to give you the next job, right? I'm going to give it to someone who is available. So it goes back to the things that you're talking about. Time management. Make sure you are available, and let us know your timings, because we're not going to force you. If you tell me, Sylvia, I'm available for 3 hours in a day, that's fine. But in the 3 hours, are you going to work for the 3 hours? So that's one. The second one is rating. So this goes back to the thing I was saying, communication, customer service, and quality of work. So as I said, you have ratings. Most of these platforms have ratings on the platform. So if you have bad ratings, of course, no client is going to pick you, right? If you don't have good customer care or customer services, and you're not a good communicator, the client is going to give us feedback. If you get that kind of a feedback, we are not going to give you a job, unfortunately. So it goes back to how you're going to manage yourself, the time that you're available. But we do really try to give everyone jobs because, as I said, this is location-based gig work. So if you're in Langata, I'm going to give you jobs in Langata. If you're in Lavington or closer to Lavington, I'm going to give you jobs in Lavington or approximately around that. But you have to be available, you have to be a good worker, you have to give quality of services, you have to get good feedback from the customer.
Wonderful, wonderful. So guys, as you can hear, it all depends on you. Much of it depends on you.
Yeah.
It doesn't depend on the platform. So if you just do good work, the platform is going to notice because it's going to look at the ratings that you're giving, the kind of reviews and feedback that the clients give you. So if you do good work, definitely work is going to come to you. If you don't do good work, then you're not going to get work, and maybe you'll join the complaining bandwagon. Yeah. So there's let me just take two questions from the chat. I can see somebody asks, what type of gigs do you have in your platforms? I think she's asking in Chuuza and Fundis, what type of gigs do you have?
So let me start with Fundis. So Fundis has so it's majorly in the construction space. So if you're a plumber, electrician, painter, mason, guys when you're kubeba mawe wa mjengo. So anything in the construction space, welders, all that, glaziers. So anything in the construction space, Fundis deals with that. It doesn't matter. It's not only for male, it's for female. There is a twist when it comes to Chuuza. I only work with women. I actually say I work with vulnerable and disadvantaged women in our society. And I turn them into people who can be able to sustain and maintain themselves in more ways than just making money. So in Chuuza, I only work with females, but the kind of work we have in Chuuza is domestic services and personal grooming. What do I mean? So I mean cleaners, nanny. So if you're a nanny, you're a cleaner, you're a chef, you're a home cook, you're a live-in, you're the live-in house manager. Then in the personal grooming space, we have makeup artists, we have braiders, we have barbers, we have nail techs, and spa treatment, so spa personnel. Yeah, so I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you've answered, and I think even the next one you've answered. Somebody was asking what is the name of your platforms. You've mentioned Chuuza and Fundis, so you can check them out on. They're in Google Play and App Store.
Kindly, may you write down on the chat the names of the company.
Let me write it. Yes.
Yeah, she's writing on the chat. Okay, fine. Yeah. Then of course somebody is saying for you to be trusted by the client, you have to do quality work and have good communication. Of course, yeah. She just reiterating whatever you said. So communication is very key, and actually 90% of the success, your success as a gig worker, it actually depends on you. 10% now depends on the platform that you choose, but now 90% depends on you. If you work hard, of course you're going to see returns there. Yeah, Sylvia, the other thing that you're so keen on is safety of gig workers, because I think it also translates to now the success. Yeah. What is actually your opinion on safety, personal safety, and all those kinds of safety, mental safety? Is it? Because I think it's an issue, especially for location-based gig workers.
It's an issue, and it goes both ways. Remember, when as gig platform workers, we talk about, or platform owners, if you talk about safety, we're talking about both sides. You as the gig worker, and also we need to look at the safety of the client. Because sometimes you get, they call and say things were stolen. So we look at it from both sides. We do work closely with the Kenya Police, and then also the hotlines. if it's not that, the specific trainings that we do, as I said, we do these kinds of trainings, how to defend yourself and how to even, when you see danger coming, right? So the telltale signs, we're going to train you in the telltale signs of if you're seeing danger coming, especially for Chuuza. As I said, I do work with women. So sometimes I would tell if a client is male, I'd let two service providers go, right? Just a supervisor and the lady, just for the sake of safety. But as I said, there are telltale signs. If you go to the platform, you can call us and tell us that you don't feel safe. If you get to a place and you feel you cannot, the place looks like it's so interior, you don't feel safe, we take that very seriously. You can reject the job. You can always get another. So yes, those are some of the things we do. We work with hotlines, as I said. If you feel unsafe, you can just go on one of the hotlines. I think the Kenyan one is it 119? I can't remember it. Yeah. So and also you can call us and we'll come to your rescue. Yes.
Okay, and in case maybe one of your workers is injured or some issues of safety comes up, how should such platforms handle that?
Yes, when I started, I said, other than giving out regular jobs, we also offer other social protection mechanisms, and that's where the safety lies. So when we talk about safety of injuries, we do cover that. Especially, I can't speak for all the other platforms, but I can speak for Fundis and Chuuza. We do offer medical covers for our platform workers. So I said, other than what was I calling it? The social protection mechanism. So we have access to loans, access to insurance, access to healthcare for you and your family. Under the healthcare, you find that we cover injury or accidents that happen while you're at work. So we have those covers. We do work with Maisha Poa. I think Maisha Poa is our partner when it comes to the health and the well-being and safety of the workers. And that goes for everything else when it comes to, in case there's abuse. We've never had a case, by the way, but we have all these things in place for the benefit of the gig workers. Yeah.
Okay, fine, wonderful. So when you get to rate, platforms needs to prioritize the safety of the workers, yeah?
Yes, we do. In more than one way, we do. So it's not just the safety, the well-being,
yes,
the financial safety, and mental health, all of it included. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. And so maybe as gig workers, you need to look out for platforms that take care of your safety in all aspects, the physical, mental, all those. Yes, yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah. So let me look out if there's any other question. Somebody is asking, do you partner with other organizations? I'm a business trainer and developer in underprivileged communities with a microloan organization. Do you have partners? Or
yes.
Yes.
We do work with partners, but I don't think I understand the question very well. But we do work with partners. We work with Ajira. Ajira is our partner. I also like to think that DOT is also our partner.
Yes.
Because we do. Yeah, key partner, because we take service providers. We call them service providers or gig platform workers from DOT. We work with DOT. We work with Ajira. Ajira is a government program or organization from the Ministry of ICT. We work closely with, as I said, platforms like the Maisha Poa for your health and all that. We work with ECLOF. ECLOF is for your financial needs. If you need to take a loan, if you need to have a savings platform, or you want the merry-go-round thing, it tailors to all your needs. And they give you tailor-made services that you cannot get even from SACCOs and banks, because for them, they ask for a lot of things, but these ones have tailor-made their services to suit the informal sector or the gig workers. So yes, we have a lot of partners. Yes, depending on your question, I don't know what was the specific question, but yeah, you can reach out to us and see if we can work together. We are
Wonderful.
always ready to work with anyone and everyone who is willing to work with us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So guys, just a reminder, you can follow at DOT Kenya in all social media pages. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and also follow at GIZ because they are partner in this program. And also make sure you follow Chuuza and Fundis. Yeah. So Sylvia, as we end, maybe your last word on how one can be successful as a gig worker before we open the floor for question.
Yes. Maybe what I can finish off with is I love I think Pussy I can't pronounce his name. He's from South Africa, but I love his quotes. He says, if you're going to start something, we're talking about entrepreneurship, and in your own right, you are an entrepreneur in your own right, because as I said, you are your own boss. Nobody's going to come and tell you this is the time you're going to work. So you are an entrepreneur. And in his words, he says, when you're starting a business or when you're starting something, don't look at so many factors. Start small, start badly, start scrappy, but just start. Don't be afraid. You have the skills, you can learn it along the way. If you don't have, you have partners like DOT that can help you with soft skills, and they offer this training. There are places you can get them for free. Some of these apps will not ask you for anything like us. We don't ask for any money until we give you a job. So you have no reason to not start big work. So start badly, start poorly, start scrappy, but just start.
Exactly.
You're going to learn all the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So guys, just start. Things will be clear along the way. Exactly. Yeah. So let me open the session for any questions. You can either use the chat if you got any question, or you can unmute and ask anything that's related to gig work, especially for location-based gig work. Anyone, you can unmute. Yeah. So Sylvia, as we wait for anybody to ask a question, just remember something, because most of this gig work, you input a lot of your personal data into it. Yeah. What is your opinion on how those platforms need to handle such kind of data? And what does a worker needs to look out for as far as data protection, data handling is concerned?
So one of the things, and I tell everyone, and I talked about it, do your research. And when you're doing your research, you see the way even the apps that we use, let's say the Instagrams, the WhatsApp, they come and tell you we have updated our versions. Please look at the TNCs. You guys don't read. And I've realized, me included, until recently when I started doing it. For the longest, for real, until I went into gig work, I never used to do it. So it's just there and it tells you need to update it. You just update it. You don't go into the TNCs, and I know most of us do that, right? But you need to look at the terms and conditions. Most of it is going to be there. It cannot be specific to you. That's very unfortunate. So if you look at the terms and conditions and they don't favor what you feel like in terms of data protection, you can always leave that gig platform and look for another. Remember, right now, Kenya is one of the best hubs when it comes to technology and entrepreneurship. So there are many apps right now that offer maybe the same services that you want to offer, depending on your interest and skills. So look for the ones that favor you in terms of the TNCs, and then have these conversations. There are going to be contracts that you're going to sign, right? Make sure you go through the contract. Make sure even if it's not you, make sure you have a lawyer friend, or because I know you'll pay for a lawyer. If you can't pay, I'm sure in your family, there's someone there, cousin or whatever, an uncle who's a lawyer. Make sure you take the contract to them. Tell them, explain this to me in layman's language, what it means, right? Is my data protected? Because some of them protect your data, some of them use it to their own advantage. Companies are here to make money, so look at the TNCs. Other than that, for Fundis and for Chuuza, even if you look at our TNCs, your data are well protected. and they cannot be shared anywhere. We are not using them for the interest of our company. We're using them for the interest of you and how to benefit you, how to grow you in every possible way that we can help you guys.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important. Even me, I always don't look, read the terms and conditions and privacy policy. I think when you're getting
People do not, and I'm sure even if I ask everyone here, just update your Nini and it starts. I actually used to have that where I used to command my Gmail without my knowledge, like just when an update is there, just update it. So I just find things running in the background, they're updating all my apps. So I stopped, then I started reading at the TNCs. You'll be surprised what you're going to see there. Most of us are just allowing these companies to pick our data, to do whatever we want. That's why when you get into, when you go to Gmail and you search for a product, I tried that. I was looking for a book on Google, and then I went to Instagram. Can you imagine the whole time I was in Instagram, they brought me the same book, like in the ads. So that means they're sharing the data, yeah? And I allowed it in the TNC. So you need to be very, very careful with the application, the website, and the gig platforms that you join.
Exactly, yeah. So any other question, you can unmute. As we are ending, we have 8 minutes to go. Any other question?
So take comments.
Of course, comments.
And opinions.
Opinions, anything. Yeah. So Sylvia is also waiting for somebody. Why will somebody get into a platform and not just probably go direct to our clients? What are the advantages of getting into a gig work platform so that they become a location-based gig work?
What? Just why?
Sorry?
As opposed to normal work, or just why?
Yes. Like for instance, I'm already a carpenter. Yeah, and why should I get into a platform? What are the advantages of getting into a gig work platform?
I understand. Maybe one, as I said, traffic. So you leave all the marketing, let me call it marketing and sales, for the platform workers to get you the customers. So for example, if you're a carpenter, you're probably based somewhere in Kasarani. Let's pick Kasarani. So the only customers are going to pass there are maybe people in Kasarani or people along the way, right? But if you enter a gig platform, imagine you can be a carpenter and make a seat for someone in Kisumu, just because the seat maybe looks well or whatever. So when you're expanding your services to a number of customers other than when you are doing it alone. So that's one. Two, I said you can be able to manage your time well. Some of these platforms are 24/7. So you can plan your time well. You can work 24 hours, you can work 8 times a day. You plan your own time. No one is there to tell you you have to wake up at 8. If you have a normal business, a physical business, you probably have to be there by 8 and open it. Otherwise, you're going to miss a customer, right? So those are the things that you're talking about. In terms of network, you're going to have, or to get other platform workers, you're going to collaborate with other people on the platform. So if you're given a gig and you can't do it alone, you just go on the platform, get someone else who you think is as good as you go do the job together. If you are not there, you wouldn't have gotten that job, right? And then if you have a physical location, maybe you get five clients in a day. What happens when you're on a platform? You can even get up to 10, up to 50. Even you're rejecting some of them because you cannot even handle the pressure of the job. What else? I also feel like the money is quite good because it's very competitive, right? And it goes with the portfolio, as I said. So the better you are at giving out services or coming up with a product or a good to sell, the better your rates are, and the better people are going to pay you because of your portfolio or your work. So when it comes to, you can work anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in Langata. You can have a job in Karen. a client would say, I really want that specific one. I'm ready to pay for their transport. I want that kind of work. So you get to have more clients, more money. You get the time you want to work, and you still earn good revenue. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Oh, let's talk about before I finish, the social protection mechanisms. What other platforms? And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to formalize the informal sector. If you're employed in an organization, they'll make sure your NSSF is paid and all these things. They put you in a structure. But when it comes to the informal sector, those structures are not in place, right? We are very disoriented, we are fragmented. So we're trying to bring that structure. So when you talk about if your sales are very good, if you're earning good revenue, you can get loans, your healthcare, all these things, insurance for you and your dependents. Those are the benefits you'll get in good platforms, right? I didn't say all platforms. Do your research, get the platforms that are going to help you not only get jobs, but for other social protection mechanisms. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So we've come to the end of the session, and maybe just to summarize what Sylvia said from the beginning is that if you got a skill that you feel can enable you make some money, probably you're a good driver, you're a good cook, you can do laundry or any other location-based work. Yeah. Choose a good platform and get into that platform. Sylvia told us most of the things that you need to look out for when you're getting into a platform. Get onto that platform and start. Yeah, she stressed on starting. Maybe things might not be clear, you might not be good at the start, but just kindly start and grow along the way. Yeah, then it's very important from her talk. Much of your success depends on more of the soft skills, yeah, than even the technical skills. The technicals are very important because you need to do the work really well. But now, how do you communicate to people? How do you manage your time? How do you solve problems? That is also equally important, because those are some of these that will make the customer rate you really well. You might be a good driver, but when you arrive there very late, the customer will actually be mad and rate you badly. Yeah. So when you get good ratings, when you get good reviews, then you're going to develop with the platform, and the platform is going to give you as many jobs as possible, and you won't complain. You're going to enjoy being in that platform. And also look out for platforms that also give you benefits, social protection benefits, and other benefits. Platforms that also grow your skill. They reskill you, they upskill you, so that you do your job even better. Yeah. When you do all those, then you're really going to thrive as a worker. Yeah. So Sylvia, 30 seconds, your parting shot.
I think I already said most of the things that I could say. I really want to work with you. I can see most of you are women, if not all. If you have a skill of any that I've mentioned, kindly reach out to us. I'll leave my number or the company's number if you want to join our platform. If you want to join Fundis as well, I'm going to leave their numbers. And yeah, thank you for being here. I hope you learned one or two things from me, and have a great rest of the afternoon. Bye.
Bye. And again, follow Sylvia Mwitumi on all social media platforms at Sylvia Mwitumi, LinkedIn, Twitter, all social media platforms. Follow Chuuza and Fundis on all platforms. And also follow .Kenya at DOT Kenya on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all those platforms. And also follow at GIZ Kenya, because we are running this program in conjunction with GIZ Kenya. Yeah. And watch out for another masterclass like this next week, where we're going to talk about how you thrive in a different skill. Yeah. I just noted something. Mary Wangu, you were saying that Sylvia has made you realize that you don't have a skill. I don't think that is true. You got a skill, but if you don't have a skill, get into .Kenya, and .Kenya has many skills that they can equip you with, and they'll make you thrive. Yeah. And thank you everyone for joining, and see you next week, same place, same time. Bye everyone. And thank you, Sylvia, for this session. Bye.